Hey guys, welcome back to the Blue Tiger Poker 10K Challenge. So we're back on Bravada again and playing some 100 NL, trying to run up the 10K Challenge and break that 8,000 mark tonight. Or hopefully, probably won't get there, but it's good to wish. Here we're going to flat call on this table we opened here a lot wider because this player 4 has been calling. He just had aces, but he's called almost every hand in the amount of time that we've been here. So here we picked up a little bit of a gut shot. Wouldn't be happy with the jack, but I think we can pick up that pot. He didn't bet. He gives up pretty easy too. I think we can maybe apply pressure on the river, and he might go away even if he did make that call there. He's either aggressive or he's been folding out. So back on this table up here again, we're calling just because we had the button. We got a ace suited hand, and it's an okay flop. So if he actually bets, we do have a gut shot plus the spade. Now the thing is if we bet here, we're looking at player 6 and we're going to be trying to get it in to hit the ace. So we're actually going to take the free card and see if we actually improved there. We did not. But again, if this guy had a bigger stack, kind of maybe like 75 BBs or better, we would have probably bet there. And chances we might have took down that hand pre-flop. But again, we don't want him to like have pocket jacks or jack 7, I guess, and betting into it. And here, I like to just go ahead and 3-bet this hand. Flat calling here, and here's our buddy again by us flat calling, which makes this guy able to call. So he has a real hand, and he's going to actually 4-bet it here, and probably wouldn't be a bad play. And we're actually going to go ahead and bet this, even though it's in his range. Again, he folds out pretty regularly. If he has a jack, he's going to push it really hard right here. But we're going to pick up that hand against this player a lot. Now, other players we wouldn't be making that same play on, but our continuation bet's going to be a lot higher against him versus other people. So after last week, we ended up with overall for the week being down. We've actually last few sessions have been coming back. I think we're back very close, if not showing a profit now for the week. I don't think I've got all the numbers for every session punched in on Poker Dominator, the tracker results, but again, I think we're very close to it's either back to where we topped out or we might be at actually profit right now. This table up here, we're still trying to get a feel for it. The only thing is we do have right behind us all the short stacks, which I prefer to have seat 3 versus seat 5. I think player 2 came after we started the session there. Down here I'm okay. Player 5 seems to be on the tighter side, and player 4 I wished was on the other side of us, but he's not. But again, the way he's playing, we can still take advantage of him a lot. He's calling a lot of 3-bets out of, he has position on us, but he's called other people's 3-bets, and he's playing a high percentage of the pots too. And here we have the ace of hearts, so helps us bet this flop on a regular basis. And maybe like a jack 10 hand, stuff like that is going to be putting pressure on us right now. This guy did flat call. So here we're going to check and let him maybe take a bluff at it again, or maybe bet like a king 10 type of hand, something like that. Highly unlikely that he might, he's either hit a set or we got him beat. So I wasn't really worried about him having 2 pair on that type of board. And by checking there, we allow him to make the bluff where if we bet, he's folding that type of hand, and he'll probably call with his queen 10, jack 10, 10 eights, 10 nines, things like that. But we just don't want to take that out of his range or anything like that. If player 5 was more full stack there, we would have made that call, just because we know player 3 has shown to us that he's willing to blow money off, and as you see there, he got it in with the flush draw and stuff. So it's an okay play, but I mean, really, this guy didn't have much behind him, so there's not too many hands that he should be folding out with the stack sizing already in there. Pretty comical, but looks like we're going to lose one of the short stacks hopefully behind us. Help spread it out a little bit. He was playing very short, so, and here this is kind of tricky because of his stack sizing. We're going to make it a raise to a bet that if he shoves 30 bucks on us, that we'll just fold out. But we're actually raising it up here to get him to fold, or we know we're going to hit our set. So if he's got an ace, he's probably going to call here. So we're going to go ahead and bet for value. We are going to get him to fold out a bunch, so we're going to pretty much say he's got the ace. Actually, he had a flush draw, so good for him, I guess. Calling a 3-bet out of position, looking for a flush draw. So, hey, who am I to say? He actually hit it, right? After we hit our set. But, oh well, moving on that one. We'll reload and know that he'll eventually give his money away. So, over here, again, this table's been shown, so we're actually going to call. Hopefully, player 11 is playing tight, that he's just going to get out of the way. And then we pretty much are going to have the button from there. And then down here, pretty standard open with our 4s. So unfortunately, we might see player 2 just give all of our money that he won away right here. Actually, he folded, so that was good. So here we're actually going to be getting 5-1, 6-1 almost on our money to make the call. It's going to be 30 bucks in the pot. Now the thing is, we're looking for another spade. I mean, if we hit the 4, that'd be very nice. But we're looking, because we have a spade, we got equity in the hand, so we're looking for another card. That is not the card we're looking for, because you can easily put this guy on a heart. But we're pretty much done in the hand unless we hit the 4 on the river. Then we might have made a call, but expecting, he made a set, but was expecting to probably see the hearts or some type of pair there out of one of those two guys. But, and again, this is our loose guy that we know would overcommit, so we're definitely going to be calling a lot of his bets. But if another spade, what we're looking for is if another spade comes off, it gives us more equity in the hand, or if we made a pair ourselves, we'd steal the gut shot. We were just looking for more equity to build up. So we really wasn't going away in that hand at that time, especially based on getting almost 6-1 on our money to put it in there. So again, we're just I think player 4 is being silly. He's asking if there was a bot. Here, I do like raising, but I like our hand. I like playing it heads up. And we're definitely not going away for $1 more. guy's brand new, and so we've now picked up a gut shot. We're still going to check to him. I don't see how he would have improved on this board. The quick check. We actually might call this bet right here. And that's pretty much king, queen type of hand. Would definitely be in his range right here. Probably wouldn't have called the river with that, but if it was another low card or maybe like a 8 or something, we can actually go look, see if my 8 was kind of a good read. Actually, he had 9-8, so he would have beat us with the 8, but I was still called probably with an 8. I don't know how we got set it out here. Gotta pay attention, I guess, guys. If you guys hadn't had a chance to check out Bravado recently, or haven't, don't have an account there is a link down below in every video, so you guys can click on that. A chance to get some good bonuses and things like that through Bravado. But they're running some new promotions right now. Definitely go in there and check them out. They're actually adding more Vegas vacation packages in there, so they also still have the Macau going on and the World Series of Poker main event seat. So if you guys, again, don't have an account, very simple, click the link below. It'll take you to their sign up page, and then you'll be ready to roll in no time. All right, Jack hand again, button, and we're opening a larger bet size because we know this guy has been calling it off. And here we're actually going to go ahead and 3-bet squeeze. Probably we'll see, get some caller out of one of these two, but we do have position in the hand, and the actual king is not a bad card for us to go ahead and c-bet on. Here, this is our crazy guy, so we know if he will pay us off big time in a hand. And of course his 3-bet sizing was smaller. So he had pocket jacks, which is fine. We either picked it up there or we did not. So thing is, this guy does not fold. So we have to pretty much say, is he doing it with a smaller? What do we got going on down here? Let's make a decision at the bottom table. We're not going to call up here. So, but real quickly, I think for odds, again, we're calling 4 to win 19-ish, 17-ish. Having a nut flush on that. But, he can have the ace. He can even have a weak ace where he 3-bet us. And it's fine because we know when we do hit a hand, we can just bet, and he pretty much calls it down all the way. And again, we're just looking at our overall odds here that we had, and I think if we hit the hand pretty, see again, he's doing the same thing. Prefer to be a little bit in position against him and don't have people where if we do call, we're going to get 3-bets. So this guy has new number 2, and then with 5 flat call in there, makes it a little tough. But you see his betting. So before, if you go back to our hand, the previous one where he just now bet pot, I don't believe him when he bets the pot amount. It's when he's betting under pot, probably 3/4 to a half, is when I think he more has a hand. He's, looking to have calls. So when he's actually betting pot there, it's, to me, he doesn't have it, and you can call that off. So if we go back to our 10s hand, if he was actually betting pot in that hand instead of betting, I think he bet like 2/3 or something like that, then we could have probably made that call and see if he shut down, because then maybe the ace would have scared him at that time. But we're going to definitely keep an eye on him. He's going to be the big money maker for us. He might suck out on us, or we could, he could have the upper part of his range, and so be it if that's what happens at that time. But we're going to be playing him, and we're going to try to be isolating to him with our hands that we know can play well against him. And over here, it looks, this guy's calling, he's already burned off all the money pretty much he's got from us almost. He's definitely now out. Be interesting to see him have another diamond. He's probably got a weak ace of some sort, probably like an ace 10. He might win this hand, and we actually hope he does. But, this guy could be checking to induce him just to get his money in there. So if he shoves, this guy's pretty much got the ace, queen, probably ace, jack, ace, king type of hand, which he folded, so he did not. But we definitely like seeing player 2 get money. Not from us, but just other people, so he's not just giving it away. And here, it's a definite open in small blind within an open pot. And player 6 has shown that he likes to call a few times, but he did not again. So every time that we thought we were going to get somebody to call right now, we're getting them to fold. So again, if you're watching, I know our tables move around on us, but back in this up table, if you're watching player 3, he is definitely the guy that is just a loose canning, just waiting for somebody to take his money. He looks to be trying to bully people out of pots as his main focus. And again, you want to bet closer to the pot. So, if he had a queen or an 8, he probably calls there. And so there's his 8. And he's going to call those bets. And that's just funny. So you are going to bet on the stronger side for value. He's calling bets. He doesn't care. So again, we're going to look if he raises here. It's fine with us. He's just making the pot bigger for us to get his stack sizing in there. And player 5 is also, we're keeping an eye on him. Seems like he's trying to also isolate, which he should be. So we got to be careful when we do try to isolate. He might try to throw a play in there or something. And any playable hand, we're actually going to call against him because we just know the payoff is so large on that. So we got a gut shot. We expect him to probably bet here. And we're not calling because of gut shot. We just know, again, this is what I was telling you before. He bet pot. So we might be able to raise here and get him to fold it out. So again, the betting pot there doesn't mean anything to us. He could be doing it with a 10 or a jack or something of that sort. And that bet on the end is just showing that he just was bluffing on that first bet. And he's just going to give it up at that time. Again, it's kind of hard when you play these guys and you don't have a lot of post-flop play in. But they're just all about trying to bully you around in a pot. And so anytime we can play a hand with him, we're going to. In this hand, we're definitely just going to get out of the way if he does anything. We kept the pot small. So this is kind of a difference. Is he bet 2? See, the last time we got the pot escalated. So this time we're actually just going to go away because we don't have as much equity. We got to get 2 runners for a gut. If we hit the ace, he could have 2 pair or something along those lines. So we're just looking for boards where we know we can play and play post flop against him. So over here's our pal again, who last time, called, and again, when he checks, we're going to bet into him because really don't think he has a queen at that point, his hand range, so we're going to play his total hand range, just not sitting here thinking, oh, well, we're not narrowing it down like some of the other people you can, so we're going to be c-betting him a lot on those type of boards. here at our pocket sevens, we're just going to flat. This guy could be making a play because there was limpers in the pot. And kind of see how it progresses. Don't miss the days having HUDs and stuff like that. Here he's, I don't know what his continuation bet is. I mean, was paying more attention to these other tables, so we're pretty much going to play our hand just as we were set mining. We had position, and unfortunately we still had one guy in the pot, so it kind of takes away to where we can maybe have floated him on that type of hand just to see what he did. And here again, we know our guy might call, so we're actually going to open a little wider, and there he did. He likes to play lots of hands, so we picked up a second pair with a gut shot, and it's check. And here, usually I would bet but he's so aggressive, and this hand could hit him, 2 pair or something like that. We're actually just going to check, and again, he bets pot here, so when he bets pot, we're actually just going to call. I don't mind it at all calling there, and he actually had a better kicker. But again, why would he bet pot on such a terrible board to do so? If he actually had the nut, he wouldn't be betting pot. So that's the reason we're going to call with second pair there and not go crazy with him. It allows us to call with second pair because he could be doing so with an 8 or anything like that, or just total air again at that time. But so here's our pal again. We're actually, it's another good board. Let's go ahead and bet on. If he ever raises this again, he's not an aggressive player. The only times he's raised is when he's actually had hands. So, and then he had the flush draw the one time, which, so what to that. After a long time, you're seeing that play over and over and over, and you just let that kind of roll off your back when those players hit that type of thing. So here with our king-queen type of hand, I don't like calling in this position, so it's either you 3-bet it or you fold. And actually 3-betting here is not a bad play. Player 5's range is pretty tight, so he's either going to bet us here or he's going to fold out. I don't think he's going to flat call, and we're going to pick that pot up. So you either fold this hand or you 3-bet it. You don't do that. Now, if player 5 had only played maybe like 4 hands the whole time we were here, and we definitely just fold this. But this hand here, I like to call because it plays a lot better than the king-queen. Because if we ever hit our king or queen, we also have to worry about his opening range. What would it actually be? And then kind of evaluate from here. And again, there's nothing to really do on this type of board. If either one of these have an ace, they wouldn't be betting here, and neither would we. So our hand could be best, and we just don't want to give them the chance to actually push us out of the pot. If player 2 would bet, I'd probably call. He bet half pot. It's an interesting, again, if he has the ace on the flop, I myself would not have betted either. Because then you're just getting everybody fold out like a jack hand or something like that. And so here he's either got maybe a jack and he might have his out kicked. Again, we're not going to call here. We'll click our time bank just for it. Explain the hand. But, here he's just got us so crushed anything he might have. So we're calling down hoping our 10 kicker would be the player, or he could have like pocket queens, which I don't think so. I mean, again, the aces, the way it played out, would be the one. He has some type of ace hand is what I would put him on at that time. And what you could do there is the other play is if you think he might be on a jack 2, you either fold the hand, or again, like our last hand, you can raise him there. So when player 1 just flat calls us, I don't think he's played many hands. This type of board we got to be a little careful on. You know, Jack 9 has actually got the nuts. We're going to go ahead and bet once. I expect us probably to get called. The good thing is we're in position, so we can control the pot against this guy by betting smaller. And if he ever raises, I might actually just fold the hand. With him flat calling, though, I think here is, you know, he could have 2 pair, he could have things. So if we bet and get raised, we're going to fold, and then if we bet and get called, bet or check. We're actually going to check. I don't know if he probably would have called one more bet. We probably missed a bet there on the end, but it's an iffy one there. You know, if he really had nothing, then you know, if he had his draw that he was trying to hit there, then he would have folded and we wouldn't have got anything. And if he had 2 pair, he might have just decided to raise all in, and then we would have been stuck on maybe deciding, which then at that point we'd probably had the pot so big that we would have probably had to end up calling, because our next bet would have probably been another probably 15-20 bucks at that time. This guy's playing a lot of pots down here, I think. We're going to take one stab at this board and then give up after that. But we did win it. But he's playing so many hands that his range, you know, was so wide that we could get out of the waves. Okay, I think we're going to call it on this episode of the 10K Challenge. So until next time, good luck at the tables.